Well, good morning, everybody. It's time for Morning Manna. And as I have been promising you, it's Holy Week, it's Passion Week, and we are in the week that we walk with Jesus all the way to the cross and the empty tomb. And as I believe, and as our guest this morning, and he's going to be sharing in just a moment, um, we believe it's time to you got to slow down. We rush to Easter almost in the same vein as Christmas. We rush to it, it's this, that, and the other, and then we hit it. And do we get the full meaning? I have found, Life Changer fam, and Morning Manna fam, that when you slow down this week and you walk with Jesus in his steps this week, then Sunday, Resurrection Sunday, has more meaning. It has more impact, even a Good Friday. So that's what the purpose of this week. And this week, as many of you know, we have a by-state seven last words that this year will be held at New Life. We'll talk more about that. But there's a steering committee of pastors on both sides of the river who are part of that, and we come together as leading us into this, walking up to that moment. And this morning we have Bishop Jones, and I just bless God. He's befriended me when I came to this community, pulled me in, and has been there for me, and been leading in this effort. And so we want to welcome him. Then we're going to greet some of you all, and then we're going to get right into the word and talk about this morning. Good morning, Bishop.
Good morning, Bishop. How are you this morning?
I'm well. I'm well. Tell the people about all the things that are happening at Friendly.
Well, listen, it's a lot going on, Bishop, but no different than what's happening with you in New Life. The life is busy, but as you do the Lord's work, you stay busy. There's plenty. The harvest is plenteous, and the laborers are few. So we're doing the work in the community and church, saving lives and trying to just share the gospel and impact people everywhere we go.
Yes, indeed, indeed. I know you were leading the effort. This just a little bit of a side, and then we'll come right back, greet some people, and we'll move right into it. First of all, thank you for getting up with me this morning. Uh,
Yes, sir. Only
it
for a
is
prayer.
it is Monday morning,
It is.
and Monday for pastors, for many pastors who have been blessed enough to be in full-time ministry, it's our day off. It's the only day that we have off, the
Yeah,
only one.
yeah.
But thank you for the sacrifice. But I was going to say, this time last year, our whole region was under severe attack weather-wise, and still bouncing back. Our church, as you know, we were hit by EF2. Your side was hit in so many ways, and you have been a leader in that effort. Can you help people, bring them up to date real quick, and then we'll move right in? How's it going with that?
Well, it's still staggering, challenging. People have stepped up and done the work and, tried to serve these families, and yet there's still a need. There's still a need with people with homes, for homes, and just resources. But we're slowly and carefully doing that walk. We need the support of the collective, whether it's private, public, and certainly the church. But it's a situation that's too big for one,
Mm,
uh,
that's
but it's,
good.
it's it's possible for all, and we're still doing the work, though. Yes, sir.
I like that. A situation too big for one, and it's possible for all of us, and that's really what needs to happen in many of the things that we are dealing with right now. We could go on and on about what we're up against, from weather to politics, but we won't. We're going to greet some folk, get into it, and then we're going to talk about what did Jesus do on Monday. Let me greet some folk. Good morning, Ramona. How are you on this morning? Gerald, how are you? Arlene, how are you? Michael, how are you on this morning? Brenda's in the house. Linda's in the house. Elder Jan is in the house. Verena's in the house. Now, Morning Man of Fam, I usually try to greet everybody. Now, we ain't going to have time to do all that today. Okay. we won't, so please forgive me. We won't be able to do that all week long because we have special guests. We want to give them the opportunity to talk. Good morning, Dan the man. How are you, Minister Yolanda? How are you on this morning? So we don't want to take up all of the time. We're doing what we typically do. We want to get right into it and be a good steward of that time. So let's get right to it. It's all about today. It's all about what was Jesus doing on Monday, on this Holy Week, this Passion Week. What was he doing? So I want you to stand by. We're going to teach you that and share with that, have conversation with that.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Manna, where in 5 minutes or less, you're going to get an impartation with the text, the talk, and the takeaway. Join the Morning Manna fam every weekday morning at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. Don't forget to put in the chat the revelation that you get and share the manna. Now, let's get ready to have some manna so you can make it through your day.
Bishop, on this day, we find in three different texts the synoptics, Matthew 21, 12 through 17, Mark 11, 12 through 19, and Luke 19, 45 through 48, that Jesus went in and turned it out.
Yes, sir.
He went into the temple and he flipped it and all. Share with us, what does that mean? What was going on in that moment?
You know, Bishop, as I thought about this, one of the things that sits carefully and closely to my heart is watching the progress of Jesus, the life of his. In the first year, he's performing miracles and he's telling people, "Don't tell anybody." You know, almost to the second year, he does the same thing. But now is time. It's time for his glory to be magnified. And Jesus steps up and steps out. When I think about Jesus, people talk about him as this passive, resistant kind of servant who is casual and calm and collected and controlled. But Jesus confronts crisis here. He goes into the temple. He goes the night before and sort of takes an assessment. And then he goes the next day on Monday morning and he says, enough is enough. What he
Mm,
does is he stands up against systems. He stands up against the protocols that are there, that are working against the people, that are abusing people. And Jesus makes a public statement by overturning tables. He's saying to systems, you won't work, it won't stand. I will stand against it. I have come to stand against those things which are not holy, which are not just, which are not proper. And Jesus takes a stance. And I think it makes sense to me with the kind of stances he's taking in this, especially this final week, why he ended up on Calvary, why he ended up on the cross.
one of those systems is the exchanging of money
Yes, sir.
from um, temple money, or from, I should say, Caesar's coins and money to temple money, to be able to then buy the sacrifices to give to the priests, that
Mhm.
he may take it to the brazen altar and sprinkle the blood over them for atonement. Now, here is the thing, and I like for you to address this. Here he is. He's turning over these money changers' tables because, in my view, this prevents them from coming into the presence of the Lord. If you don't have the money, or I'll cheat you. And what I see right now is a similar system of a Christian nationalist thing that's saying, here is the systems we have so that you might be able to come into God's presence. Can you speak to that?
You know, you said a lot there, Doc. You said a lot. Um, this whole idea of Christian nationalism is, I think Jesus, I often wonder what would Jesus do? And
Mm,
I think that Jesus will come and confront it directly and head on. Um, it is for me a white nationalism. It is not. It is for people of color to conform to a nationalist system and not to Christ Himself. And Christ, I think, stands against it. I think that it is all economic. It is driven by the economics, and I think what Jesus is coming to do is dismantle this economic system in the courtroom, in the courtyard, and so what is happening in communities and in governments and in our places. And so I think Jesus will stand forth against it because the poor is being ignored. Those who are marginalized are being not recognized, and Jesus has come to serve them and not to misuse them.
When he does that in such a dramatic way. And here's the thing that grabs me as well, as you open up with, we 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 have this lens in which I don't know where it's come from, but we have this lens in which we see Jesus only in the low, meek, and humble. We and I have some sense of maybe our faith isn't as attractive to men because we present a meek man
Yeah.
instead of the man that turns over stone tables and chisels out houses as a carpenter. What are your thoughts about that? Is he this only weak? And you begin with that. Can you share a little more about the strength of Christ?
Yeah. You know, he is meek, but he is not weak. 'Cause meekness is not weakness. Jesus was determined, he was focused, he was faithful. And listen, he had fortitude. Jesus stood up against, he came up against systems and people of power and spoke directly to these Pharisees that he spoke to, and he would perform miracles right in front of them, and know that it would irk them and irritate them, but it didn't matter to him because Jesus came to put it all on Front Street and to put it out on public appearance, if you will, to say that I am who I am and I will stand forth for righteousness. And he does that. He is not this. He is humble, holy, but he is heroic at the same time. He,
I
you know, he has
love
he,
that.
he has a spiritual arrogance about him.
Yes.
He just does. And he being God, who else would have it but him?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So the God we serve, who has embodied himself in flesh, did not come in some manner in which does not show strength.
yeah,
And I think that that is what we have to grab, in particular on this Monday, in which he turns over tables. He comes against systems, as you said. When you're thinking of that, what would you say to the Manna fam and to the broader community here in our area with respect to a final word on this Holy Week and this Monday as we look toward um, Resurrection Sunday?
I think that it is important for us to remember Jesus as the man who sacrificed, who saved, who surrendered, who sacrificed for us in so many ways. And how do we live that out? How do we demonstrate that in our walk, in our witness, in our work, and living according to the word? And I just think that we have to be bold proclamators. I think that we have to be advocates for those that Jesus showed advocacy for, and that's the poor, the meek. I think that when we see ICE in communities, when we see people being taken and moved here and there, when we see TSA workers not having money and resources and billions of dollars being spent on wars, I think, and our communities are being neglected, I think we have to make noise. I think that in the public forum, we have to turn over tables.
Oh,
We have
wow.
to say that we worship, yes, but we speak word to power. And so I think that we have to be advocates for truth and righteousness at the same time.
We got to, Manna fam, you heard the word right there. You got to turn over some tables.
Yeah, yeah,
You got to turn over some tables. And
yeah.
I bless God, Bishop, for you joining us, the Manna fam, this morning. And Manna fam, you already know what you need to do for this region. You need to walk with us this whole week, invite someone, and on particular Friday, Good Friday, we will be at New Life this year on this side of the river, east side of the river, at 12 noon, and we have some um powerful speakers from the entire area that will be ministering the word. Don't miss it. And Today, go find a table and turn it over. Hey, thank you, Bishop. The
I
Lord
love
be
it,
with you
Doctor.
today. The face shine upon all of the Manna family in you,
Yes, sir.
and may his face shine upon you. Share this, man. If it bless you, bless somebody else. Don't keep it to yourself. I'll see you tomorrow morning with more Morning Manna. God bless you. Thank you, Bishop.
Bless you, sir.